Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this July the 1st, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Saturday out there so far. Hope everybody has a great Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we'll talk about the satellite loop across the lower 48. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your locations. And also, we're going to take a look at the storm predictions also into your Sunday, Monday, maybe into Tuesday and Wednesday outlook. So we'll take a look at them. And also, we'll take a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook for temperatures and precipitation over the next 8 to 14 days. Okay, if you're a new viewer and I'm not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. You can see here we got a cluster of showers and storms riding over the ridge here. The ridge has shifted a little further to the east this time, producing some finally some little bit cooler relief in Texas, also into portions of Oklahoma and portions of Kansas as well, bringing some showers and storm to you guys over there. We got high pressure centered pretty much right over Alabama and southern Mississippi, right around the boot heel there of Louisiana. So it's kind of like right in here, and everything going around the ridge is kind of going like this here. So if anybody from Texas all the way into Virginia to the Carolinas, all the way down into Florida, even Georgia, you may get in some shower and thunderstorm activity as this high pressure kind of slowly pushes off to the east. A cold front will drop down into the area and will produce showers and thunderstorms over the southeastern United States, mid-Atlantic, and the eastern coast of the United States. Even portions of the plains will get in on some shower and thunderstorm activity coming up much of this week. And we got a little activity over portions of the Bahamas, all the way into the Atlantic waters, all the way to portions of eastern Canada as well. All right, let's move on to the weather radar across the nation here. You can see that's that little system that was producing that showers and storm over the middle portion of the country. And also we got scattered activity over southern portions of Canada there as well. I was just waiting for you to pop up. But anyway, they got scattered showers and storms over southern Canada, back down toward Montreal and Toronto, Canada. Also a little bit up in Maine, over toward Nova Scotia, Newfoundland region. Also scattered activity all the way down into New York State, down into portions of Pennsylvania. A little bit more widespread activity moving through portions of Kentucky into West Virginia. Also scattered activity over portions of southern Michigan. Also back in Illinois, back in Iowa, and also a little bit more widespread over Kansas. Also a little bit more widespread over North Texas, northern Mexico, that is. Scattered activity over central and southern Florida, Florida Keys, including the Bahamas. Also in the coastal waters of the southeast Atlantic coast. Also, Puerto Rico looks pretty good at this time. They have a few scattered about storms also in portions around the Guam Island, that is. Also, we got scattered activity over in portions of Idaho, Montana, and also portions of Wyoming and a little bit in southwestern Canada. A little bit of activity trying to pop up off the coast of Oregon, just offshore there over the coastal waters. Alrighty, let's take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your locations. I had to get some water there. But anyway, we got still got some air quality alerts over portions of Vermont, New York State. Also down into Boston and the Connecticut region. Also down toward the New York area, and also over toward the Washington, D.C. vicinity as well. Also up in portions of northern Ohio. Also much of Michigan and northern Michigan there as well. We got the heat advisory extended all the way into Georgia, all the way down into northern Florida, Florida Panhandle, also back into eastern Alabama, southern Alabama, also western Louisiana, southeast Texas, southern Texas. Special weather statement there for you guys for some heat too. Much of Arkansas. We got excessive heat warnings also in effect for eastern Arkansas, eastern Louisiana, southeast Louisiana, all of Mississippi, western portion of Alabama, western portion of Tennessee. Severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect for northeast Alabama, northern Georgia, much of Tennessee. Got some ongoing severe thunderstorms in Tennessee. Also got some severe thunderstorm watches also in effect for portions of western Kentucky, southwest Indiana, southern Illinois, and eastern and southeastern portions of Missouri, with some ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings there as well in Missouri. Special weather statements in Kentucky for strong thunderstorms. Also got some special weather statements also in effect for portions of Michigan. Flood advisory for portions of southeast Kansas. That's flood watch. Flood watch. Air quality. Flood warnings also in effect for area rivers in South Dakota. Also over here in portions of southwestern and western Nevada. Flood advisory for portions of central Texas. Also in the portions of Colorado. Also, we got some special weather statement for portions of western Montana, western Idaho, Oregon. Also, southwestern portions of Washington State. Also in the western Nevada, eastern California. Heat advisory for southern portions of Oregon, down through portions of west central California, all the way down to southern California. Excessive heat warnings also in effect for central California, southeast California, southern Nevada, western portions of Arizona, southern Arizona as well, and a flood advisory there for the mountain range of California. Hawaiian chain looks good. Also special weather statement for north portions of Alaska. Still got that tropical storm warning for the west coast of Mexico as well. Alright, Storm Prediction Center time. Here's a look at today's outlook. As you can see, we got a lot of severe weather possibly in we got down to the Florida Keys, back to Mississippi, back to Texas, back to New Mexico, a little bit in California, also in portions of Colorado, back in the Montana, also in the portions of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. Marginal risk over portions of North Dakota and Montana, also down here in portions of Texas, southeast New Mexico. Marginal risk, we have slight risk there as well in Texas. Also marginal risk also in portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, all the way to New York State, through the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Slight risk of severe weather over portions of Virginia, down in western North Carolina, all the way back into portions of Arkansas, and back into portions of Ohio. Enhanced risk pretty much over Missouri to Illinois to Indiana, and in Kentucky. And if you live in St. Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, St. Charles, Missouri, you're in enhanced risk for severe weather today. If you're in Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, you're in a slight risk for severe weather. If you're in Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, also in Birmingham, Alabama, and surrounding areas, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather this afternoon. Tornado probability for today, 2% in Texas, Missouri, all the way to portions of Kentucky and Ohio. If you live in St. Louis, Missouri, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, and Odessa, Texas, you're under a 2% risk. 5% include Evansville, Indiana, Carbondale, Illinois, Vincennes, Indiana, Marion, Illinois, Mount Vernon, Illinois. You're under a 5% risk for a tornado. Alright, winds, 5% in the Brown, from North Dakota back into Montana, down here in Texas, a little bit of 15% in Texas as well. 5% extending all the way from Kansas to New York, all the way to Georgia and the Carolinas and Mississippi and Alabama. 15% pretty much from North Carolina back to Missouri. 30% pretty much over Kentucky, in Indiana, Illinois, and portions of eastern Missouri. And the significant severe weather for damaging winds will be generally over. If you live in these areas here, Evansville, sorry, the information is refreshing. Alright, give me a check, get some water. Alright, if you live in Evansville, Indiana, Owensboro, Kentucky, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Henderson, Kentucky, Carbondale, Illinois, you're in a significant area for damaging winds over 70 miles per hour, maybe up to 80. Also, if you live in St. Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, St. Charles, Missouri, you're in a 30% chance for damaging winds over 70 miles per hour. Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. You're under 15% risk for severe weather, damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. If you're in Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, you're in a 5% risk for winds over 58 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour, or maybe a little higher. Alright, damaging the hail probability, 5% in New York, 5% in portions of Virginia, down to Georgia, Missouri, down to Mississippi, back into Kansas, also over in West Texas, 15% in West Texas, also 15% Missouri, Illinois, back in Kentucky and Tennessee. And if you live in Nashville, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, Everett, Indiana, Clarksville, Tennessee, Midland, Texas, 15% risk for large hail for 2 inches in diameter or larger. If you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, 5% for hail over 2 inches in diameter. Alright, take a look at day 2. Alrighty, got general thunderstorm from Maine to Florida, back to Texas, all the way to Nevada, excuse me, all the way up to Minnesota, also North Dakota, got a little bit of marginal risk up here in Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, back into Texas and New Mexico, from Texas all the way to the Atlantic East Coast, up towards Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania area, also the Outer Banks of North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, slight risk from Arkansas all the way to Virginia. And if you're in the Philadelphia region, Pennsylvania, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Nashville, Tennessee, you're under a slight risk for severe weather. If you live in New York, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, you're under marginal risk for severe weather this afternoon. On your Sunday. Tornado probability, less than 2% all areas. Winds, 5% in the Brown up here in Minnesota, also North Dakota, Montana, Kansas to Texas, from Texas to the East Coast, 15%, same way from Arkansas to Virginia. And if you live in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Nashville, Tennessee, 15% risk. If you live in New York, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, 5% risk for damaging winds. Hail probability, 5% from Texas to the East Coast, also to Virginia, East Coast there. Also from Arkansas to the Virginia area as well, Washington, D.C. This includes Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Nashville, Tennessee, 15%. New York, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, 5% risk for large hail in your area. Alright, on your Sunday. Now we're going to take a look at Monday's forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. We have general thunderstorm from Maine to Florida Keys to Texas, all the way back to Iowa, Nevada, and also Idaho and Montana. Also over here in Wyoming, all the way to Minnesota, marginal risk. All the way from Mississippi, all the way up to Connecticut, through the Carolinas, marginal risk. If you live in New York, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, Newark, New Jersey, and Norfolk, Virginia, and surrounding areas, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather. Probability 5% in the brown. If you live in New York, Memphis, Tennessee, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, and Newark, New Jersey, you have a 5% risk for severe weather on your Monday. All right, let's take a look at day 4. Okay, day number 4. Here in day number 4, got severe weather extending from all the way over here from portion of Wyoming all the way into Iowa through Kansas. And if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa, and Council Bluff, Iowa, you have a 15% chance for severe weather on your Monday. Day number 5 is too low. Too low. Number 7, too low. And day number 8 is too low. Alright, let's move on to the Climate Prediction Center. This is the outlook for 8 to 14 day outlook on temperature wise. You can see we got above normal temperatures extending from Maine down into portions of the Boston area. Also well above normal temperature down here in portions of southern Florida, central Florida as well. Also through southern Georgia, all the way back over to the west coast, Pacific Northwest around Oregon and Washington State. Above normal temperatures expected over portions of Minnesota and also into portions of North Dakota. We got an area of near normal precipitation in the gray extended from New York State through the Carolina, through portions of the Carolina, portions of Georgia, all the way back up into portions of Montana, all the way back into portions of North Dakota, also back into portions of Wisconsin. We have below normal temperatures expected. Big area here from Pennsylvania through upstate South Carolina, all the way back into portions of North and South Dakota, also into portions of Wyoming and Montana. Below normal temperatures expected over portions of Wyoming and also in the portions of South Dakota and portions of Nebraska. Also same over here in portions of Illinois, back into portions of western North Carolina, back in portions of the mid-Atlantic region. And also we're in California below normal temperatures and near normal temperatures expected there as well. Alright, central Alaska, northeast, above normal temps. Central southwest, near normal to below normal temperatures in Alaska. Alright, here's a look at the precipitation across the nation for the next 8 to 14 days. Above normal precipitation from Maine all the way down into portions of the Ohio River Valley, Tennessee River Valley, back into portions of the Midwest. Also down into the southeast, got some above normal precipitation into the South Carolina, all the way back to Washington State, across much of the northern portion of the country, back into Montana, and also back into Michigan as well. Near normal precipitation from South Georgia to Florida, back to Texas, all the way back into portion of Oregon, portion of West California. And below normal precipitation expected from West Texas all the way into Nevada. Well below normal precipitation expected over portions of Arizona and Utah, also in Nevada as well. Central and north, above normal precipitation in Alaska, and south areas, near normal precipitation expected for you guys there. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody continue to stay safe and well. Enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and we will catch you back in the next one. And have a great Saturday.